Right. Well, welcome to the 5D Academy of Higher Consciousness. I'm Zarathustra, your host, broadcasting live from Tulum, Mexico. Mhm. And I don't know what I'm going to talk about today, but I'm sure it's going to come to us. But I just want to say thank you for those of you who came to the workshop, the Infinite Wisdom. It was beautiful, and it was so nice to be with all of you. And the energy field that was created through our collective consciousness was amazing. I have to say that I was so high after the workshop ended and on Monday, and I was kind of sad. A part of me was sad because I wasn't gonna see you and continue on the energy that we were on. So, but thank you for showing up. Thank you for your support, and I love you from the bottom of my heart. Really appreciate every one of you that you show up in my life and give me the love that you give me. I feel it, and I appreciate it, and I acknowledge that. And I see you. I see where you're at. I see who you are. I see your intentions. And I hope that on this journey, I can give you back what you're giving me. Because you give me a lot of love, and it keeps me going. That love you give me, whatever, however you do it, whether you show up at the academy or you make a donation or you participate in one of my workshops or retreats, or you send me an email and you say thank you, whatever you do, however it is, I feel it, and I want you to know that it gets me going. It gives me more juice to make myself available and continue on this journey. Because the journey is, it's got a lot of ups and downs, and like anybody else in the world, um, we need encouragement of whatever kind to continue. It's like getting validation, like, all right, you're doing it right, and keep going. And it wouldn't be possible without your love and support. So thank you. So let's just hang out for a few moments in here and now, and take your attention inwards and come to this place within yourself, and assure yourself, if you do, I'm imagining that anybody who's coming on this platform, or anybody who's coming multiple times, maybe just one time you come and check things out, or maybe you come back and you are into it. I'm assuming that you feel something. You feel the love, you feel the divine presence. Something is pulling you back, as it's pulling me back here to show up. regardless of whatever challenges I have to go through to get here, and whatever challenges you have to go through to get here. But something's very strong and it brings us back together to this point. A is, let's not take these moments for granted. Because at any moment in life, this can end and finish up. So let's treat these moments as if their only time is happening and that's it. Okay? So let's treat this academy and webinar as the last one. There would never be another one again. Can you do that? And not take it for granted. And just be fully present. Not get occupied with your phone, answering messages, or your cat, dog, or whatever. Just like, this is the last one. Okay? All right, so we're here. So this is the last time we hang out together. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to go in all at once? Put all the money on the table? Or you want to hold back? How bad do you want God? And what are you willing to do to dissolve into the presence of Her Majesty, Lord God? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to give? How far will you give? Are you willing to give everything? Or are you going to keep a little bit back just in case? I want you to think about this and just feel it for yourself. You don't have to tell me anything. Just feel it for yourself. Look back. Are you willing to give everything you got in order to see God or merging into God's consciousness? Or you're going to keep a little bit back there as a reserve? Check it out. Look at it. Close your eyes. Kind of just dive inside yourself and examine it for yourself. Like, how much is this worth to you? Are you willing to die for self-realization? Are you willing to give up your family, friends, children, loved ones, everything, your possessions, money? Are you willing to give everything away for self-realization? So look back and see for yourself where you're at. And that, in an honest way with yourself, again, you don't need to tell anybody anything, but you're just examining with yourself how bad you want it. God appears in your way, and God says, give me everything you have. Everything. Sign it up to my name. And not even a promise. Maybe I bless you. So it's not even a business deal. It's not like I'm going to give everything away and I get blessed. No, maybe. That's what God says. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and go within. And what if God doesn't give you anything back? And you're just broke and a beggar on the street because you gave everything away? Can you deal with that? Go deep inside and examine it for yourself. And if you're honest enough, then your measuring stick will show you where you're at. And don't be ashamed if you say to yourself, like, yeah, I'm willing to give this much, but I want to keep this just in case. Don't be ashamed to say that to yourself. Just be honest with yourself and see where you're at. And based on what you feel and how you are, use that measuring stick and it will show you where you're at. You will know where you're at. The Buddha gave everything up, everything. He became completely naked with no possessions. That's how bad he wanted it. And he was a prince, he was a Brahmin. But he gave up his palace, his women, his children, his possessions, everything. He gave everything up for God. He went for it. And it's not like instantly you get rewarded. No. It took like 7 years before he came to awakening. This path at this level that we are practicing, it's not for beginners. This is not for pussycats. If you're here and you resonate with it and you're willing to sacrifice, then know that this is your last step. This is the end of the line. Now it may take a day, it may take 100 years. Nobody knows, but know that this is the last step. Can happen next year, 2, 5, 10, or, but on the evolutionary level, if you have come to this kind of teachings, then know that you're at the end, almost. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, and you wouldn't be hearing this, and it wouldn't be resonating with you. Now, question is, how bad you want it? And what are you willing to sacrifice to demonstrate your commitment to freedom? How bad you want to become free? For me, it was, I gave up everything and I sacrificed everything because I really wanted that bad. I've been degraded, disgraced, disrespected, put down, ridiculed, broke. Down and out, made fun of, but I wanted it so bad. So, are you walking the talk or you're talking the talk? Because you're very close. You're very, very close, but yet you're very, very close. This last leap, it's probably the most difficult thing ever you have encountered in this life, because it does require bullocks. You know what bullocks is? Bullocks means balls. Some women may come and say, well, I don't have any balls, but I'm not talking about physical balls, I'm talking about courage. So can you gather the courage and can you jump into the fire? Because once you jump into the fire, you're going to burn. Are you willing to burn? Are you willing to sacrifice everything in return of awakening or nothing? You may awaken or you may just be broke and a beggar on the street because you gave everything away. You have to demonstrate that to God. That's the final gateway you have to walk through. And the way out is scary. It's very frightening. First, you get a gun. Then you put two rivers together. But regardless, it's still scary. You will encounter your worst fears and nightmares. As you're getting close, that close, everything, all the shadows, everything will appear in front of you. And you would have like a million different excuses to turn around and back off. And that's why Osho, Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, he mentioned that this is a very lonely path to reach the peaks of Himalaya. And at the very, very peaks, very top, you look around and there's nobody there. You're the only one. And it's very lonely. You have reached the highest peaks of consciousness. And you look around and there's no one to cheer with or to be with. You're the only one there. Everybody else gave up or they got bumped out of the way. But you're the only one who made it all the way up there. And now you don't have anyone to celebrate it with because you're the only person. And that's frightening. Because you're used to all of your life to have other people cheering you up or sharing your misery with or your happiness. But you broke out of the herd and now you're walking your own path. And that's why I respect you wherever you are, because I can see you walking the path on your own. And I want to support you on your path. I can't carry you and I will not carry you, but I'll be happy to guide you. But you have to do it on your own. You have to face your own fears. You have to climb your own walls, your own barriers, by going into all your ideas of your own limitations. You're not good enough. You're not worthy. It's frightening. And you have to be very real. It's one area that you can't like fuck around. You cannot pretend or be fake because there's nowhere to go. You can't escape. God is seeing you through. And with whatever bullshit you come up, it's all being seen. So there's no room for bullshit. In other words, like, you have to be totally naked and exposed. Your darkest secrets are being seen, darkest desires, crazy stuff that you may be liking to do or you're hooked on, whatever that is. Everything is being seen. You can't hide anything. That's scary. The different areas that you can work on and kind of improve to for yourself to get an idea where you're at. And for everybody's is a different story. I kind of feel like being very straightforward and telling you things because in the same time I feel like in a way simultaneously, I don't want to be dramatic, but our time is limited. The time we have together is very limited. And it can come to an end at any moment. So let's really get into it and not have any like decorations or fluff or whatever. Let's get to the point. Straightforward. Let's treat every single academy or workshop or retreat as if it is the last one and it would never happen again. And let's treat this as of a love affair. It's like we're in love with each other. There's deep love. And I'm not talking about romantic or sexual. I'm talking about deep, deep love for each other. And deep, deep love for the people that are important to you in your life, not just me. So you need to kind of stop, step back, and get outside of your story. Whatever is your story. No, my mom's bugging me. My kids are bugging me, or my boss is bugging me, or whatever it is, and get out of the story and come back. And kind of like look at every person who's in your life and they're significant to you. You feel like connection with them. And look at them for a moment and look at him like this is the last time you're going to have an encounter with him, how would you feel? How would you be? Are you going to think about the critics or things you don't like about them or your differences, or you're just going to go beyond that and look into their eyes and really connect with them and drink this, whatever you have with them, for the very last time? How would you be? How would you act? every time in your life that you have, or you're blessed, or we're blessed, we are blessed to have an encounter with a holy being, an avatar, an enlightened presence, the Master, Her Majesty, the Supreme Being, in the form of a person, may appear in your life, and they will eat your karma. They just eat your karma. Swallow it. So something maybe you have to go through many lifetimes to clear. And because of your proximity of being close to the yoni will eat your karma. And your devotion, willingness, giving yourself to that, the master will clear everything out. To be very honest and straightforward with you and frank, at the most level of, if I ever could be as honest as I could be, is there's nowhere to go and nothing to do. I'm going to say it one more time. There's nowhere to go and nothing to do. Do you know why? Because you are already that which you're looking for. You're already there. You just don't know it. That's the difference between us. I know who I am, and you don't. I have nothing more or less than you have, and no spiritual teacher on the planet, they have more or less than what you have. All the awakened beings, they have come to the realization of who they are. And they've come to understand There's nowhere to go to get more, and there's nothing to do to get more. Even though it appears that you go somewhere and you do something in the world of appearance, go do a breath work session or whatever you do, but everything points back out to where you're at because you're already at. You are that which you're looking for. You are God, pure expression of the divine being in an individual, senseless expression as you are, and comic and a joke. That's what's happening. And in order to recognize that, is at one point you're just going to have to stop. You're just going to have to fully stop. That's what happens when you're hanging out around the biggies, the big ones, is that the presence is so strong that it overwhelms your mind and your agenda, whatever agenda you have, whatever dance you're doing. It burns everything out and it forces you to go inside and take a look. Maybe that takes 30 years. Maybe it takes 30 minutes. But at the end of the road, you realize, wow, I've always been the one I've been looking for. And it's always been here. I just somehow could not believe it and could not understand it, but it's here. And you have no idea what kind of power you have. No idea. You have no idea who you are. If you knew who you were, US Army would be fucking scared of you like chicken shit. They would be shaking coming to you. If you knew who you were, armies, fleets, they would be afraid of just coming to you because of your power and your majestic being. And you don't know that because you've fallen asleep, because you think you're somebody, a person. And from being the king, you have come to being a beggar. You're begging, always begging with your begging bowl. You don't believe me? Check it out. How many times a day you ask God for something? Oh my God, give me more youth. Oh my God, give me more money. Oh my God, help me find my lover. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea you're a beggar. And you have no idea what you got, who you are. Because you think you're a person, you're someone. You don't know your majestic being. Moments you get a taste of it. When we're together or when you're in meditation or like past few days at the online workshop, many moments like we went to this place of total expansion. And in coming Ore retreat, That's why I want to have you in this bubble, because I want to make sure and you understand who you are and your power. Because if it's any time on the planet, this is the time that we need enlightened beings. Not one or two. Up to now, it's like been one for every 100 million, 200 million. Now we need enlightened beings as the beacon of holding the truth and holding the light and being able to process and transmit the power of silence. So through that being, we calm down the thinking process of the collective, make him calm down, make him become quiet, make him be centered, and lead them inwards. And then you will see the planet will change completely, because it's a planet of thoughts. It's the Maya. So the more your mind is busy and you're going crazy and you're involved, the more crazy the world is. So we need you to become quiet. We need you to get centered. We need you to go beyond your bullshit and your itty bitty blah 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 needs, and recognizing who you are. We need you to open your wings and shift into your higher self. We need you to be large, big, overcome all these bullshit stuff. It's time. The planet needs you. Humanity needs you. So you can transmit the power of silence. So you're quiet, centered within yourself, because you're self-realized and you know who you are. And then automatically the transmission starts to happen. And that transmission will change the vibrations of the entire planet. But first, you have to become quiet. You have to become centered. And not even having an agenda to heal the planet. That's not blah, blah, blah. It's another story. No. You're not doing it to transform the planet. That's an ego trip. You diving within yourself and recognizing who you are. In that recognition, you have given the best gift to the humanity. Hallelujah. Why don't we take like a 5-minute break and then we come back? How's that? A bathroom break? Okay? Right? How many people here have ever heard of? How many people here have ever heard of Gurdjieff? Gurdjieff, right? So if you ever get a chance, check out a book. It's called "The Unbearable Lightness of the Being." Unbearable lightness of the being. How many times you've been like in this place of pure meditation and pure like, whew, like you're gone. And it's like, wow, it's so powerful and so overwhelming on the power of the presence that you get to this point like, I can't handle this anymore. It's like, oh my God, this is too much. I can't handle it. How many times have you experienced that? You're in deep meditation, deep love, and it comes to a point like it freaks you out. You get freaked out. It's like, oh my God, I can't handle this anymore. It's too much. Too much of light, too much of the presence, too much of God coming through your body. Back in the British Raj time in India, and they were just building this railway, and the railway was going to go through this Hindu temple, and it was going to destruct it, and so they were building it in that direction, and very close to the point that they were going to demolish the temple to have the railway, an Indian guru, an avatar, enlightened being, goes in front of the railway and he wills the pathway of the railway, and the railway path changes and goes around the temple. He literally moves the railway. Through the power of silence, through the power of presence. He shows up and says, no, this railway is not going to go through the temple. This railway is going to move. And the path changed. The spiritual world and the world of mysticism that we have entered into, because this is a mystical school, it's not just like another webinar, us coming together is not like a workshop or a retreat. This is accessing entry into the mystical school. So you get access to enter into school of mystery, so you can learn and be exposed to the world of unknown. Most people don't realize that. Most people look at, oh, it's a retreat, or this is like an online course. It's hidden inside a retreat. It's hidden inside an online course. It's a mystery school. It's where you get the codes to enter into the gates of heaven. It's not a retreat. It has to present itself as a retreat or an online workshop. That's the cover, so it doesn't get persecuted. It's an access code, an invitation into entering the school. And there's no guarantees. Entering into the school is just the entry. It's like enter into Harvard Law School. Doesn't mean anything. You just have to complete it. You have to work on it. Being admitted is huge, but now you have to pay for it and study your ass off. But they made it super expensive and super exclusive because of the elite, those who really want it that bad. So it's filtering the riffraffs. Into the mystery school. What's the mystery school? Secrets of the universe. There is no room for pussycats here. I'm sorry. Pussycats, goodbye. So the last barrier, the last step is the toughest one. I mean, I have to say that's why I have so much respect for Monica and Marit, my elder sisters, because they're two elderly wise women that they're here. They show up and they're dedicated. They don't need anything, you know, it's not like they need something. But these two beautiful wise women, Monica and Marit, they show up here at this period in their lives. Support the academy, support Zarathustra, but they show up. Because they're both in the last stage of their awakening, very close. Something inside them says yes. And to me, it's like I have an obligation to all of you that who show up. I'm obligated to show up too and give you the best of what I've got. Because sometimes I don't feel like it. You know, it's not like I'm always like really cheerful or whatever. It's like energetic to teach or give the academy or whatever. It's like I'm a human being. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it. But when I see that dedication and love of beings, highly evolved beings, like showing up and thirsty and hungry to receive the wisdom, I can't say no. Because many times in my life, I felt like, okay, I need to check out of this planet. I'm done. I got it. I don't need to be here anymore. It's like there's no one and nothing to enlighten because the entire planet is that. It's myself. So, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I doing this? If you think it's money, there's no money in it. And it's like, all right, maybe it's time to check out, move on into another realm. But then I show up, I come to the academy, and you guys show up, and it's like, oh my God, I can't leave. I'll break their hearts. So I need to hang in there more. So I get on my motorcycle and I just like do some crazy stuff, like almost got an accident and got killed last week. And it was like, okay, maybe some car hits me and kills me. And then that's my excuse to get out. Okay, he got killed in a motorcycle accident. He's gone. I think about that sometimes. And then the motorcycle accident doesn't happen. It's like, okay, I have to show up. And I show up and you show up. I want you to know I want you to stop for a moment, please. Stop whatever you're doing or whatever you're thinking for one moment, please. And I want you to know, stop your thought process and dive deep inside and feel the presence of God. And know for one moment that you're worthy. Drop the bullshit story that you're carrying. So I can hear your story and I don't want to hear it. I don't care what your story is. Okay? Drop your story and feel the presence of God. And recognize that, who you are. Recognize your beauty. Recognize your power. And then when you dive deep in this place, let God take over. Let go. You don't have to be in control. And then give yourself to that. Surrender. And that's one final very scary moment in your life of surrendering. It's so fucking scary. But you got to take the jump. Because you're jumping off the cliff, you're on the edge of a cliff, and you're going to jump, and there is no like security blanket or anything to catch you. So you may land on some rocks and smash your head and tear into pieces. Knowing that possibility, you're still going to jump because you trust God will take care of you. There is no other way. Every single awakened being from the day one to the end, they had to fulfill this part. That means gambling everything for nothing. And you give yourself to God. Then God will decide if you're worthy or not. No guarantees. But you have to demonstrate that. And if you're not ready for it, it's okay, no problem. But there's going to be a moment in your life that you're going to have to do it. No money, no honey. But if you succeed and you jump and God finds you worthy, then you're in a kingdom of heaven. Whatever that means to you, kingdom of heaven. Means you have freed yourself from the world of desires, fear, anxiety, and ultimately death. You become free, liberated. And then that's where your life, and in this picture, starts. Because you don't have a fucking clue what freedom is. You heard stories and blah blah blah, and you may be repeating it. You don't have a fucking clue what being free is. That you live life and there's no fear of death. You live life and there's no fear of future possibilities. There's awareness, but there's no fear. There's no fear of being alone. There's aloneness, but there's no loneliness. And you don't even know it. You don't even know what that is because you've never been there. And then what happens that you arrive at the place that it's pure love, but it's not like romantic or conditional. You enter into this realm that it's beyond the imagination. I can't even explain it. The love, Also, the word love is kind of been like overused. It's beyond love. It's like for the first time in your life, you enter in this place like, oh my God. It's like all is well, nothing is happening. There's no evil forces. And you realize this, like, wow, I had to go through this illusion of duality or whatever the story is to come to this place. And it was worth every penny I spent. All the suffering, all the loneliness, all the stuff, pain that I went through paid off 100 times, because you come to this place within yourself that is just pure presence of Her Majesty, the Supreme Soul. And you're at the feet of Her Majesty, Lord God, bowing at the feet. After years of walking as a spiritual warrior in this desert, dry, hot desert, and you're like this sponge which is really dried. And then you arrive at the presence, and the presence is like pouring water on this sponge. And you're at the presence. And there's so much light and love that you can't look at it with your eyes because you get blinded. It's the presence of Her Majesty, knows all the deep secrets and darkest part of you, and loves you no matter what. And it invites you to merge in. And you merge in. And then may say like, you know what? I'm going to send you out there to work on my behalf, and I will channel through you. I'm like, okay. But I really don't want to go back in the world. I just want to be with you because I finally got to my beloved. I mean, you're the only one I'm in love with, and you're the only one that would never leave me. He says, no, I would never leave you, but I want you to go out there and do a little something for me. But you don't want to go out there and do a little something. You just want to hang out with your lover. You want to be in bed making love. So what we really don't know is, and we get a little taste of it every once in a while, here and there, the enormous power of the presence and the love. It's so enormous that when it comes through, it's like, wow. kind of vibrating to you. Maybe you're doing some healing work and healing people, but that's why Gurdjieff and the book, The Unbearable Lightness of the Being, is like so strong, like you can't handle it. The love. And when you recognize that, no evil force, no army or anything, when you're in that presence, anything dark or evil or whatever comes close to you, they bow. They automatically bow. Because they recognize their source. Because evil comes from God. Dark comes from God. It's God's will. Our problem in modern spirituality is that we have forgotten who's the boss. There's only one boss. There's only one master. And we are all the employees of our master. All of us. I know who's my boss. I know who I'm working for. And I don't have a problem with that. Her Majesty, the Supreme. I surrender to that. And she can take me any moment she wants. She can bend me, make me, or break me. I surrender to that. That's got to be your attitude. Anybody would like to share anything? You have questions or whatever? Or get out of the way and let her operate you. This bullshit that I can choose this, I can do that, I can manifest this. It's kind of like an insult. Get out of the way. Shut up. Just shut up. Let the boss take control. Don't say even a word. Like, I'm letting God take over. Shh, quiet. Shut up. Don't say a word. Allow the boss to operate. And then you will see the quality of your life, because there's light there, so much light. No matter where you go, what's happening, what's going on in the world, anywhere you go, anything you do, there's sphere of light around you. Because you're carrying the presence of Her Majesty, the boss. Why work for anybody else? I am very grateful for everybody who's showing up today and being with us, those on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and our beloved friends on the Academy. Thank you very much. We still have some room at the upcoming retreat and in Åre, Sweden. And my beloved friend Baram G, who's actually I made a meditation CD with, and Sufi musician, and he's going to be joining us. When he plays his music, most of his lyrics of the music and singing is connected to Rumi, and automatically when he starts playing, we all fall into this unified field of the oneness. He's able to, with his music, to take us to fifth dimension. This coming retreat is not a healing training program, yet healing may appear in the middle of the program. This training program is basically about diving inwards into the silence to recognize the truth of who you are. The truth of who you are. The ultimate goal of any seekers, to arrive at this place of pure presence, stillness, and silence. And recognizing the power of the love of God that you do possess. It's yours. And becoming a beacon for transmitting that love to all over the planet and other planets. Remember that at the end of the day, no matter what, love is what wins all. Love is the last card. No matter how much cruelty, separation is happening in the world, at the end of the day, The one with the Ace of Heart is the one who wins. So if I am to choose, why don't I just surrender myself to God and become a soldier of God's will? I'm okay with that. And this is not about religion and separation, because religion in the past has created separation. And when I'm speaking of the power of God, I'm not talking about an old man with white hair, white beard, with stick in his hand who's here to punish you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the being that's within you. And when you demonstrate your kindness and you exercise your power of love, you're exercising your godliness. And you have that power. So don't let the media or blah, 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 or family or the to distract you. Stay in your heart. Stay in the love. That's your challenge. You're being challenged. Can you stay in your heart despite what's happening? Despite how many times you've been screwed, you've been taken advantage, you've been cheated. Can you stay in your heart with awareness? That doesn't mean you have to be cheated again, but can you stay in your heart? That's the challenge. My website is Zarathustra.tv. If you're interested in joining me in Ore, Sweden, this coming June, feel free to register, and you're welcome to send us an email, Zarathustra.tv, and we're more than happy to help you. You can contact my sister Hilde in Norway if you want, and we're here for you. And I look forward to connecting with you. Thank you very much for joining me. God bless you. I love you. And I see you. Namaste.
Great.
Thank you very much for joining me. Much love and light to you all.